What is up, my film critics? It's your director, Caleb Barcelos, and I am back doing another review. Today's review is Tenet. This is Christopher Nolan's latest movie, and it's going to be far more complex to talk about than Ad Astra. This is my second video on my channel, and already I'm going leaps and bounds with this one. So the easiest way I can describe this movie's plot without spoiling it is to use IMDb's description. Armed with only one word, tenant, and fighting for the survival of the entire world, a protagonist journeys through a twilight world of espionage on a mission that will unfold in something beyond real time. If you guys didn't understand, sorry. But Tenet is also pretty hard to understand, so you have to do multiple viewings of this video to understand what I said. Okay. This movie stars John David Washington. I'm sorry I couldn't say his name right. John David Washington. Robert Pattinson's also in this. Elizabeth Debicki. That's all I can remember. Oh yeah, Michael Caine's in this too. So Tenet is very inaccessible to watch upon first viewing, because for the first hour or so, your mind's trying to catch up on this world and how this main character plays into this world, what his purpose is, what he's doing here. This is a CIA agent. And so he's on this mission to, save the entire world, prevent World War III, when the antagonist gets his hands on a weapon, a very dangerous weapon that could result in World War III. So yeah, they just have to save the world. It's a spy movie. This movie's closely related and feels a lot like Inception. But even in movies like Inception, people seem to be really confused about that movie. I only saw that movie once, but even I understood the gimmick that it's about people entering people's dreams. It was easy to follow. I understood it the first time when I saw it. Yeah, there was some complexity in it, but Tenet is far more complex. I only saw this movie once. I like it when movies encourage you to do multiple viewings of it to really get an understanding, because there are stuff hidden throughout this movie that tie into something later on for these characters that you're not going to understand at first. So in this movie, they enter what's called inversion, where everything moves in reverse and backwards. And this results into great fight scenes where, during the war scene, people are shooting while moving backwards, but also people moving forwards. And it makes for great editing, it makes for great combat. It's just a really, technically made movie. It was just really, really good. And I just like the camera work, the cinematography. There was a moment in the movie where a building was reassembling itself and then blows up while the camera tilts up. It's really cool editing, and I really like the camera work in this. Also, the soundtrack. Ludwig Göransson made the soundtrack for this. He's done Black Panther. He's done The Mandalorian. I was led to believe that this was Hans Zimmer, but he couldn't do this movie. He's done Christopher Nolan's soundtracks before, but he couldn't do this for Tenet. And yeah, Ludwig Göransson's really good. He did this quality where when people are in reverse, the soundtrack kind of has a reverse quality to it. And when people are in forwards, it plays out like a normal song. So when people are backwards, the song kind of plays backwards a little bit. It kind of sounds like that. So it's really clever and it's very creative with the music. It's really nice. Another thing I really like about Tenet is that the lead character, John David Washington, he doesn't have a character name. He's just referred to as the protagonist. And I think it makes sense because no one knows who this guy is. No one knows his identity. And we don't really know who he is either. We don't know any character. The information about these characters are kept at arm's length from each other, but also from us. So for him to be referred to as the protagonist, it would make sense that we don't know his name and that no one knows his name because he's a spy. He's kept in secret. So I like that they just call him the protagonist. What else do I want to talk about with this movie? Oh yeah, Michael Caine had one scene. He had one scene which I kind of wish he was in this more. This movie is very inaccessible to watch upon first viewing, like I said. It's going to take multiple viewings to really appreciate this movie. Uh, and no one really knows what the word tenant actually means in this movie. We just know they're armed with this word and they have to be careful with this word and when they use it. Uh, but yeah, the editing is great. This isn't Nolan's best film, but I like it. I love it a lot. I liked Interstellar. I liked Inception. I haven't seen Memento yet, but I will see that. I love the Dark Knight movies. So, of course, I'm a Christopher Nolan fan. And Tenet is just one of the few that I like. But yeah, the thing is about the characters is that Christopher Nolan's known for plot over character. So, there's a lot of exposition thrown at us, and the characters talk really fast. So, your mind doesn't have any mental breaks with like the action. It's not just action all the way, but you're trying to catch up like the action that's happening. It's hard to kind of like see what's going on, but you don't get any mental breaks of like what's being explained to you. This movie is a lot of exposition. And despite all the exposition, you really don't know much about the characters. You don't know anything about Robert Pattinson or the lead, the protagonist, Elizabeth Debicki. You don't really know a lot about these characters. Same thing with Inception. They all have a purpose in the story, but you don't really know much about them. And that movie's a hit. I think it's going to take some time for people to adjust what Tenet is, because similar to movies like Fight Club, that movie is also a little inaccessible to understand with like the plot twist. I won't spoil it, but let's just say when I saw the movie for the first time, I didn't understand the plot twist. But when I saw multiple viewings of it, I'm like, ah, that's clever. Even though it's from this different director, David Fincher. But again, you really don't know much about the characters. And it took a while for Fight Club to be appreciated. It was not appreciated at the box office, okay? It was flopped. People really hated Fight Club. But again, over time, people rewatched it and they understood it. Maybe the same for Tenet. I like Inception more. I like Interstellar just a little bit more. Tenet, let's just say it's like top 3. This is number 3 for me. Interstellar's 2. Inception's 1. But yeah, I think it's going to be great. I'm going to see this over and over again. I can't wait to learn more about this. Check it out, guys. This movie gets not a B+, but I'm going to give it an A-. Okay, I like this movie a lot. I just sort of wish that I don't really have anything like major in terms of cons. I just think that maybe for you guys, if you're a passive film watcher, you're gonna have a really hard time. You might get frustrated watching Tenet because it's so complicated, it's so complex, and for the first hour, your mind's trying to catch up, again on the world and what's going on and what everything means. So, yeah, do I think this movie's worth buying on Blu-ray? Well, yeah, I got mine right here. Duh. I'm gonna start doing that from now on. Thanks, guys, for clicking on this review. If you got confused on what I said, well, you're going to get even more confused with Tenet, so there you go. Sorry, but it is the way it is. Sorry, I'm not gonna redo this video. So, it's time for me to take a bow, and it's time for me to say, that's a wrap. Hey guys, so I know I just ended the video, but I feel like there's some stuff I still want to say. I won't go too long. I'm just gonna say a couple of things before I end this off. I just realized that looking back at the replay of my review, I think I mispronounced a couple names. I meant to say Elizabeth Debicki, not Debicki. Not a big deal, but I just wanted to point out that's how you pronounce her last name. It's Elizabeth Debicki. So you guys might have noticed me saying that a couple times, and I apologize if I mispronounce her name. So yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but is it Ludwig Garrison or Ludwig? I heard it both ways. But I just want to know, did I pronounce his name right? The guy that did the score? Ludwig or Ludwig? Probably not a big deal. Also, when I was watching this movie for the first time, I was wearing headphones. Full volume, good quality headphones, but I couldn't understand what they were saying because they were talking so fast. So if I was wearing headphones and I had a hard time hearing what they say, that should say something. So yeah, just wanted to point those things out, guys. So uh, I don't feel like redoing that review simply because I mispronounced a couple of last names. I as long as I make you guys understand of like the whole thing as a whole, uh, that's all that matters to me. I just feel like I want to speak this out. Just say I apologize for maybe saying some misinformation or mispronouncing names, but it's gonna happen sometimes. Just to let you guys know. Okay, that's all.